I love what it says here. If you're the smartest person in the room,
you're in the wrong room.
It's like, that's so true. Like, it's
man.
good.
Yeah. And that happens so frequently. You find yourself with peers that are of the same level as you are, or maybe even below, and you want to kind of stay there and stay stagnant. Mm-hmm. If you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Welcome to Courageous Stewards, the podcast where legacy meets leadership.
We believe stewardship isn't just about managing resources. It's about multiplying impact, honoring purpose, and building with eternity in mind. Each week, we dive into business-focused discussions on real estate investing on a foundation of faith and family.
We have a desire to inspire listeners with a heart to reclaim their time, talents, and treasures for something greater. Whether you're growing your portfolio, leading a business, or a family, we need to become the best version of ourselves.
This is your space to gain wisdom, walk in courage, and steward what matters most.
Let's build what lasts. Let's lead with love.
Let's become Courageous Stewards.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Courageous Stewards podcast. This is episode 15. We're just sitting here excited. We're celebrating a little bit about already being on episode 15, and we're just thanking you guys for listening and tuning in. This one's going to be a really fun topic. I know Jake and I have both intentionally did this through our lives, and that's why we've had the opportunities we've had and the relationships we've built over the years. So I want to start with a Bible verse that's actually associated to this very topic, because before we get started, there's going to be some challenging things in here that might turn some people off around giving up something they feel like they're holding on to. So Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another." What that's saying is that relationship you have around the people you're with in your community, there should be an intentionality behind helping each other, sharpening each other, challenging each other. God is telling us to be around people that are helping develop you and grow you. So in this episode, we're going to be diving right in to making sure you know your circle, because this is the importance of who you're surrounded by. So we're going to start looking at what that looks like in regards to taking some inventory on some friends maybe you have in your life right now, discerning where the value is and if there is and what can be changed, and just kind of dive into the experiences Jake and I have had through this process of looking at our circle from an objective standpoint and not just settling in because it's comfortable. So Jake, you want to start off on what you're thinking on in regards to this topic?
Yeah, who you surround yourself with will determine the ceiling of your growth. It's so important to find a circle that builds you up and doesn't keep you where you're at, that continues to encourage you to be the person that God called you to be, and finding people that you can surround yourself with that will encourage you to grow, that will help you to level up to a place where you never thought possible, is really vital to get yourself into that place where you're not stagnant. You're surrounded by people who help you to level up. They give you clarity. They help you make decisions. They encourage you in a direction for your life. Are positive influences, positive role models, encouragers, if you will. I think it's so incredibly important to find people who can sharpen you.
Yeah, we're going to dig right into that later on in this episode in regards to what types of people are in your circle and how to identify them. So let's kick it right off on this first part here, which I think is a really cool perspective in regards to how you view your circle. Your circle is a mirror.
Yeah.
But when you're out in public or you're with your friends or the people that you spend your time with, they're a mirror. They're reflecting where you're at now, and they're actually reflecting where you're going. You don't realize it maybe in the moment, but your circle really is a mirror. And so you don't rise to your goals, you rise to the level of your environment. That is crucial. If you want a visual, it's as simple as a flower. You plant a flower. If I put that flower in a dark room somewhere with no energy, nothing there to take care of it and to give it support, encouragement, and grow and thrive, all flowers are meant to be beautiful and be amazing, right? You put that same flower in the right environment, all of a sudden it reaches the potential that it had the whole time. You just have to understand how important your environment is, and that's who you surround yourself by.
Yeah, your circle being a mirror is an interesting idea. It really helps you to clarify your standards, habits, your expectations, your future. You're going to be a mirror of the people that you're around the most. I've heard it said that you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around most.
So
And I
true.
think it's so clear when you look at it from that perspective. Think about the people that you're around most frequently. You're going to be the average of those 5 people. If that's from a negative perspective, you're going to find yourself in that vein. And if it's a group of people who tend to have higher vision, higher expectation, pushing towards something bigger and better, then you're going to find yourself coming alongside and doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Finding yourself growing beyond what you ever thought possible.
It's so true. And it's human nature, right? So what's great about looking at your circle is the thing that doesn't change is A, you're a human being. B, you're not special. We're just all the same. We're just all humans. And we have tendencies as humans. One of those critical tendencies is acceptance. We want to fit in. We want to be accepted. We want to be liked. We want to have relationship in a circle. So the reason that whole acceptance thing is so important is you raise and lower that desire of acceptance based on the standards of which the circle's giving you.
Yeah.
So if the circle's giving you a certain standard, your desire to be accepted overtakes most of your actual logical thinking of wanting success, of having dreams, of having goals. So you lower it to fit the circle. Same thing happens when you're intentionally building a circle of higher powered people, people that are farther, people that are winning harder than you are. If you build that same circle, guess what? Guess what didn't go away? The desire to have acceptance, right?
Yeah.
So now you're going, I'm going to work really hard. You're helping me. You're mentoring me. This guy's building me up. I'm going to work really hard to go where he's going. It's the same phenomena in your psychology is acceptance. So if you can leverage that from a positive standpoint of self-growth, development, it serves you instead of stagnates you, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
By allowing that desire to be accepted by people that are going to stay put.
Yep. If you find yourself in a casual environment, you're going to be casual, right? If you find yourself in an intentional environment, that makes you more susceptible to being intentional. Same thing with courageous. If you find yourself in a courage-driven group, you're going to find yourself being far more courageous in your decisions, your emotions, your intention. Everything is going to come up to that standard because of the people that you're around.
Yep, love that.
This podcast is based a lot around stewardship. I mean, that's the idea of our podcast, is to steward what Christ has given us for a bigger purpose. Stewardship requires discernment. Sometimes people just evolve and don't really have intentionality through their lives when it comes to the people that they're surrounding themselves with. And intentionality in the circles that you're putting yourself in and that discernment, it parallels stewardship. We've been called to steward what Christ has given us for a bigger and better purpose. And
Yes.
what better way to do that than to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, driven, and are going to elevate you to the level that's expected of you from God. So that's a nugget that can be taken.
It's so good, and it empowers you to become that person for somebody else that
Yes.
comes into your path. You can go, hey, wow, I've been blessed to be around these people. I've grown. Grab my hand real quick. I'm going to help you. Let's get you over here. If you're interested, I want to be a part of your growth.
Yeah.
So that stewardship is so multifaceted. It's incredible.
That actually brings me to a story that parallels this conversation. I had a kid who reached out to me, probably 3 years ago now. He asked me if I would be interested in renting him one of my long-term rental units, but he wanted to do Airbnb arbitrage with it, which is basically the idea of you rent an apartment from somebody who owns that apartment, then you put the furniture and the decor into it and you rent it short term. You pay the landlord that you rented it from his fee for you to be in that space, and then you keep the difference when you rent it short term. So that's an idea that people can take away from a real estate perspective, which we're not really diving into too much right now. But I said to him, no, I'm not really interested in doing that. But you know what? You're young, you're ambitious. Let's get together over coffee and talk about you and what's going on in your life and where you want to go. And he just went on and on and on about his vision, his ambitions, where he wanted to go, but he had no idea of how to get started. He had nobody surrounding him. He grew up in a tough situation with his family. And through the process of our conversation, I'm like, dude, you need somebody to come alongside you, support you, encourage you, and help you grow in your vision. And so every week from that point forward, we got together and we talked about where he was going. He ended up starting a pressure washing, window cleaning business. He did a lot of other like concrete sealing. He added some different things to that business. He took that business from the first year before I met him. He had started that. His first year, he made about $20,000. And after we sat down, talked about things and really elevated where his vision was at and helping him to see his potential, he grew that to over 6 figures the following year. He had 3 employees. I think he did 150,000 or something. And he's just leveled up every year since then.
Amazing. You got to be that for somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what's so amazing.
I have several examples of that, but that one sticks out to me. That kid is thriving now. He's just doing so good. It just goes to show what can happen when you surround yourself with somebody who is already where you want to be or who has the same vision that they have is where you want to be at, and maybe they've already been there. And they can grab you and say, come along, let's do this. I am where you want to be.
That is a great testimony for that. I love that story.
So 3 types of people in your circle. You should really recognize that there are only going to be 3 types of individuals. The first one is going to be the builders. These are the people who challenge you, they sharpen you, they call you to be better, to higher action. The drainers are going to be number 2. Those are people who take energy, they take away your focus. They live in chaos in a lot of ways. And then number 3 is the distractors. They're not bad people. They're just not aligned with your vision, your purpose, your higher calling. Can we talk about those a little bit? The builders, the drainers, and the distractors.
So what we're doing here, moving into this next segment, is we're talking about taking active inventory on who's in your circle. If you feel like your circle's good and you're like, no, I'm in a good spot, I've known these people for a long time, look at one of your friends and then ask yourself where they're going to be in 5 years. That's it. There's nothing wrong with not going further in life or anything. But if they're still going to be on mom's couch playing Xbox, you might need to start looking to build more of a circle, a different circle. Because if you have a desire to go farther, you need to take some inventory on who you're surrounded by.
It's funny that you say that because in a previous episode, we actually talked about setting a 5-year plan and working backwards. And I would say there's a crucial element to surrounding yourself with people who can get you to that point, right? Seeing where this person that you're so close with is at in 5 years or where you see them being at, it kind of helps bring some clarity to whether they should be as big of a role in your life or maybe not.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said on that. You had 3 topics there on builders, drainers, and distractors. I've got that simplified even a little bit further, and I may be oversimplifying it. But when we take inventory, it's more about why are they in my circle? You could ask yourself why. Like these are real questions that we don't ever take time to ask ourselves. So look at them. Why are they in my circle? How long have they been in my circle? Are they helping or are they settled, right? Are they satisfied with where they're at? Because I have it broke down to 2 types of people in your circle. I call them balloons and anchors.
Yeah.
Right? I got to attach myself to balloons and I got to detach anchors. Because if you're going to go up, you got to have lift. And lift comes from the people around you that are going to encourage, believe in you, and show you and help mentor you. So I have those down into 2, balloons and anchors. This is for the listeners that have the desire to do more. If you're comfortable and you're happy and you've got a great life, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Have joy where you have it. This is for people that are looking to go to the next level. So take inventory. We're talking about alignment, not attachment, because now you're going to have that conversation. Well, so I'm just supposed to get rid of and eliminate all my friendships. Not really. You just have to set some boundaries around guarding your growth.
Yeah.
So it's more about alignment, not attachment. Well, I've known them for 20 years. That's fine. I've known my dad since I was born, but I have to get around some different people if I'm going to go farther than my dad did.
Yes.
You know, it's just one of those things. Don't make it personal. I love my dad. I'm going to be with him on holidays, Christmas. I just love being around my family. I have great parents. And you have great friends, and I've had great friends. But if you're going to look to go, it's about alignment, not attachment.
Yeah. I think there's a big difference between alignment and comparison. I think a lot of people have a desire to do more and don't know where to go. They tend to look at people who are where they want to be and they think, if only I could get to that point, if only I had what they have, then everything would be great.
That's a
you know
great
what I
point.
mean? And I found that comparison is just, it's a thief of joy. But alignment can give you joy.
Yep.
It can give you purpose. You can find so much more value in aligning with people who are where you want to be rather than compare yourself to where other people are at. Don't compare yourself to them. You're not there.
I totally agree.
Align yourself with those people who are where you want to be so that you can grow to your full potential to be where they're at in the future.
Yep.
Comparing yourself to them now is just going to steal your joy.
It's a discouraging thing to do.
Yeah.
And you talk about it all the time, and I love that your heart is for that, but it's the journey.
Oh, so much.
Get on the journey and take it. Don't go and try to be that person's year 5.
Yep.
Let yourself be your year 1 and enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
But start taking action. You say that all the time, and it's just great advice to stick to. When we're talking about the builders, the drainers, and distractors, and taking inventory on your friend circle, people are going to feel rejected. It's not rejection, it's redirection, and it's for your growth. And to be quite honest, if you change the way you inspire your circle, you might just take one of your circle with you or a few of your circle with you.
Sure.
You know, there might be a way that somebody else in your circle is hungry too, and then you guys start talking. All of a sudden, you partner up and you go even further than you were going to before from staying stagnant.
You'll find the group that you surround yourself with, they want to see you elevate beyond the point that they're at. You know, you're not where they are, and the goal is to get to where they are, and that's why you're surrounding yourself with those people. Most of the people in that circle, they will latch onto you and want to see you accelerate far beyond even where they're at.
Yep.
That's the way I am. I want nothing more than the people that I am able to influence in a positive way to outgrow me, to go far beyond what my capacity is to help them.
Yep.
And then maybe I can learn from them at some point or come alongside them for a deal or whatever the case is.
It's a great segue into this next section because what you're talking about is having the right people around to do that and have that attitude. The problem is, for most people and most of our circles where we're settled, it's very much the opposite. And it's not personal. That's the thing to remember. It's not personal. So when we look at having the courage to curate your circle, it isn't about cutting people off. Sometimes you just have to reposition them. That can be your Xbox buddy, maybe on a Saturday afternoon. Go play Xbox with that friend. But then go to your circle, go to coffee with the guys that are trying to build you up. It's hard. This is going to be really difficult if you're looking to do this because there's a study that was done. I think I've shared this with you before, Jake, and some people have actually heard it. The crabs in a bucket.
Yes.
Most people's circle that are living at a settled level, just kind of happy, not going too far, not doing too much to grow. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is when one of the people in that circle starts to grow and accelerate and level up, basically. Crabs in a bucket, if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket and they're all there together collectively, they're fine. They will just walk around on each other down at the bottom of the bucket with peace. If one of the crabs starts to make its way up the wall, they won't do too much still. They're going to still walk around. If the crab starts to get up to get out of the bucket, they will cut the limbs of the crab off so that it falls and stays back in the bucket.
Pull them back down.
There's like psychological theories behind this, and this is what we do. And again, it's not personal. In fact, we don't even realize that we want it. One of those theories is self-evaluation maintenance. So if you're in your circle and one of your friends starts to go, when we see someone exceed, we become insecure in ourselves right off the rip. You don't have to admit it. It's just true. It's human nature. We become insecure. All of a sudden, indirectly, we make steps to impede their ability to grow. That might even be as simple as just telling them it's not worth their time. See what your friends are telling you when you decide to start doing something big. Again, this is just science behind how people behave. The other one is relative depreciating theory. When we watch somebody else advance, we wish we could too. We start to feel insecure or stagnant, and it comes down to feeling unfair, like life's unfair.
Right. Why them and not me?
Correct. So then our efforts again go back to, well, we got to level this playing field. I need so-and-so to stick around. So we start to do things to level it again. Those are very real theories that happen in these circles that we surround ourselves with. It's why it's so important to pay attention to those things. So when you tell your friends, I might start a business, I'm going to go back to college, what are they saying? Bro, you don't need to do that. That's stupid, right? That's that desire not to see you go beyond where they are.
I agree, 100%. Your circle is either going to lift you up or tear you down. In some cases, and that's not always the case. And I don't want to make this seem like You can't have a friend group that you're comfortable with, that you've known for a long time. That's not what we're saying here. Intentionality is really what we're talking about. Putting yourself in circles that are going to help bring you up and elevate you. Can you still have the friend groups that you have now? Of course.
Yeah.
We're not saying you need to cut off all ties to all of your friends and everybody that you're around so that you can go find new friends, new circles, and level up. No, it's not like that. You're going to have those people around you that are your constants.
Yep.
And they may not necessarily understand your drive, your vision, your goals, and you can remain friends with them.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of understanding the difference between the balance of letting people love you and you love them without letting them lead you.
Yep, nailed it.
You don't want people who are not in a position to lead you to influence you in some way that's not in a trajectory that you want to head, right? You can care for people without letting them shape your decisions.
That's good. So good.
So I would say a lot of the folks in your life that are already in your life, you just need to recognize the balance and the volume that you're allowing them to speak into your life. If this kind of resonates, the idea of volume in a car, on the radio, you want to have almost two different volumes, right? The volume that you can turn down on the people that you're close with, that you love, you care for, you've been friends with for a long time, but maybe aren't influencing you in a positive direction. They're not a balloon, they're more of an anchor. And you can kind of turn the volume down. You're not turning it off, you're not hitting the power.
Right. I
You're
love
just
that.
kind of turning the volume down a little bit. And then you're turning the volume up a little bit on those people that you can surround yourself with that are going to encourage you, help you grow, give you a hand up, put you in other circles where you can level up to your next potential. So get in the thought process of turn the volume down a little bit here, turn the volume up a little bit here. There's a good balance there that needs to be had.
I think that's an awesome visual and a way to convey that. That's really good. So let's give some steps on how do we build a circle that is going to do the things in which grow us and shape us and help us develop.
Yeah, the first one that we have here is to find people who tell you the truth, not what you want to hear. I think it's so true that a lot of times you find yourself in circles where they're all yes men. They're all agreeable to behavior that's beneath where you should be.
Yeah, like their standard is set at the social norm. Well, and if you're listening, we're hoping your standard is not the social norm.
Yeah.
I want to be challenged on things that the world goes, there's nothing wrong with that. You're a guy, you can do those things. I want my circle to go, bro, look, you've been a great dad, but you're dropping the ball here. The scripture says this and this. These are blind spots that the world doesn't show you. I want somebody to go, dude, you got to work on this. This is serious. I need to elevate. It may not even have been a problem to me 5 years ago. But if I'm trying to grow, I need that in my circle. The key here on that one, even on that step one, finding people to tell you the truth, not what you want to hear, is actually much easier than what it takes to receive the truth, which is humility. I can absolutely find people to tell me the truth.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to listen to it. If I've got pride and I've got an ego and I'm not humble enough to go, that stings a little bit, but it's true. And I'm going to try to do better.
Yeah.
And I think that's oftentimes where we deflect because our pride's there. And then we start the comparison thing, like you were saying, with other people. And we justify our behaviors of not growing because of the social standard.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Right
It's
off the
almost
rip.
a series of accountability partners.
Yeah. What a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's like you have those people who are going to hold you accountable, and then those people who are going to be in the social norm category, who are just there to not really speak truth into your situation, but rather just give you flattery.
Yep. I love it. You're that for me. I love texting you stuff. If I'm working on something or I'm going to take something on, I'm going to tell you because I know in a few days you're going to text me back. Hey, bro, how'd that go? I didn't actually do any of that, right? And I need that because I know I've got to answer. You're going to text me. So if I say I'm going to do something, it gives me that drive to actually execute. So when you text me, I can go, bro, did it.
Yeah.
Got it locked up. We're moving on to the next thing. Here's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, a circle of accountability.
Sometimes that's not even a circle. Sometimes it's just one person.
Yep.
In a lot of cases, I would say, by finding that one person, and I think that's a place that a lot of people who are just getting started, that's where they should start. find that one person. It's not necessarily about finding a group of people. Find the one person that can help elevate you to the next level. And by doing that, they're going to put you in their circles. And from that, you may find somebody else in that circle that you may relate to a little bit better and align with.
Yeah.
And so then that person may take you into another level of a circle that's even above that one.
So true.
By osmosis, so to speak, you just kind of elevate yourself over time.
Yeah.
It's like, you're in this circle. From that one, you go to this one, and this one, you go to this one.
So true.
It's a series of growth over time that you never expected just by making the one decision to find that accountability partner, so to speak, who can bring you to that next level. From there, sky's the limit.
So good. So good. And number 2, looking back at what you said about comparison, when you see somebody else winning and you go, man, I can't do all that. They're winning. I'm not going to win. Surround yourself with people who are ahead of you and be encouraged by it, right? So go be around winners that are way farther in life than you are and try to see if they'll give you some of their time and see it as a means to grow, not as a thing of you're not good enough or you didn't do enough or your life didn't turn out the way theirs did, right?
Right.
So surrounding yourself with people that are ahead of you is the right way to do it. I mean, sitting here with you, we're shooting this podcast, we're in a partnership. You have more of a portfolio, you're farther along than I am, so I look at you in that light, and you do that, and that's amazing. And so I don't see it as a competition. I'm not trying to beat you. I just want to partner up, be alongside you because you're willing to give me that time. People are out there that do that, and I think it's important to go find them and be willing to be around them.
Yeah.
I love what it says here. If you're the smartest person in the room,
You're in the wrong room.
In the wrong room. It's like, that's so true. Like, it's
man.
good.
Yeah. And that happens so frequently. You find yourself with peers that are of the same level as you are, or maybe even below, and you want to kind of stay there and stay stagnant. If you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
I hope some of our listeners hear that and can take away just that one nugget right there.
Yep.
That's so, so valuable.
I like latching on to the feeling that I'm always a little bit behind.
Yeah.
If I can hold on to that and I can always be in that room, in that position where I'm always feeling like I got to do a little bit better, I got to do a little bit more. That's a really good one. And having that attitude about it.
Right.
What's number 3?
Choosing people who live the value you want to embody.
I think this should be number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. If we're ranking them,
Yeah,
you're absolutely
this should
right.
be number 1. Core values. If it doesn't line up right off the rip, the relationship's not going to be as strong and as basically value add as it could be.
Absolutely.
And so this one actually should be number 1 because we're talking about core values here. It was one of the very first conversations Jake and I had at coffee before anything ever got anywhere. We just talked about core values, family, faith, what we do as leaders, what we do as fathers in our homes. And it really came down to making sure we align on core values. So there are some great ones here. Integrity, discipline, faith, courage, and stewardship, of course, that's what we stand on this podcast. So having those core values, I think that would be number 1.
Yeah. And, we've talked a lot about putting yourself in rooms with people who are doing things that you're not so that it elevates you to their level and propels you into where you want to become. But you're going to find that some of those people have maybe some character issues, integrity issues.
Yes.
They don't align with your values. I would caution people to recognize that very early on, because that will take you down paths that you don't want to go down if you're not very, very careful. The values that you want to embody, the character
That's
that you want.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Be on guard for that. I told myself that early on. I can go out and find people to work with. But if I'm sitting across the table from somebody and their primary mission is money, I'm getting screwed.
Yeah.
Because I'm the new guy. I'm like, hey, my name's Sean. I want to get into real estate. Hey, yeah, let's do that. And then you get partnered up with somebody who's got the wrong intentions and wrong goals. Guess who's going to be the one that's going to be screwed? And that could burn your entire goal to push in and keep going.
Yeah.
So this has to be number 1. If you take anything from this episode and you start working on your circle, number 1 is make sure they align with core values that are important, that are built on courage, faith, and stewardship. That will help you.
Yeah.
If your why is bigger than those worldly reasons, you're going to position yourself a lot better.
Yeah. I can't express to our listeners how important that one thing is. I've been in both. I've surrounded myself in my young age with people who were wildly successful and had low integrity and character. And for that reason, it just fell apart. Over time, you recognize that their success is their success because of dishonesty, lack of character. They put themselves in places that they shouldn't necessarily.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to fall apart, right? And it did for me in my young career. And I recognized that, step back, and, after going through several times, I found that it made so much more sense to find people who align with my values first and then level up after that where they were at. You want to find people who are highly successful, but once you've done that, the first consideration should be, is this person going to align with my values?
That's great. Yeah, I just heard a really important thing there that you were just demonstrating, which is priority. If you go into it first with the goal of building wealth or having a business or growing something worldly, you've done it wrong. Now you're tied in. Now you're going to start looking at values. Too late, bro.
Yeah.
So
backwards.
I think that one's got to be top of the list.
Yeah.
And then number 4, I love the way this is
love
worded,
this one.
don't you?
Yeah.
Find people that celebrate your growth, not your comfort. So many friends want to see you stay comfortable. Like, why would you do that? There's a lot of risk there. You're going to go out and try to do X, Y, and Z. That's not us, and so they celebrate your comfort. When you go buy a new video game or you bring over a case of beer to your buddy's house, guess who's getting celebrated?
Yeah.
We're all staying in our comfort zone, right? We're going to chill tonight. So it's like, find somebody that celebrates your growth. What's number 5?
Number 5 is building a circle that multiplies, not drains.
It's having people with a growth mindset, not a comparison mindset, which is exactly what you said earlier.
Yeah. I want to go back to number 4 for just a second and talk a little bit about the comfort mentality. Today's generation embodies this a lot, where they tend to want to stay in their comfort zone and not deviate from that into what could be, or take the difficult path because it's not comfortable. You'll find success in the hard things. I've heard that said so many times.
True.
From people who are wildly successful. You're going to find that if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, even in small ways, it doesn't have to be this dramatic 180 shift.
No.
But just start with the small things, pulling yourself out of that comfortable space and maybe into the unknown, where you can challenge yourself to be a little bit better in this situation, a little bit better making those kind of decisions, a little bit better in the choice of friends that you have. Those small decisions over time create massive success, massive change in your life, and you'll see the positivity start to develop. You take a step up, then you take another step up, and before long, you're clear at the top of the next landing, just because you took one step at a time. You surrounded yourself with people who were willing to challenge you outside of your comfort, and for that reason, boom, 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 you're in a whole different world because you were willing to take a step and get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it really is true, and it's not going to be comfortable or easy to do it, but it's valuable. It's definitely valuable.
And I think that kind of ties into number 5, where it talks about multiplying rather than draining. Naturally, if you challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone and get around people who are going to challenge you, you're going to multiply that circle and
So
grow
true.
that circle and elevate yourself to the next level, and not stay where you're at and drain the life out of you because of the current surrounding that you place yourself in.
Yeah, it's weird to think about, but somebody else is counting on your growth.
Yeah.
Somebody's waiting for you to grow, because they're connected to you in a way that if you grow, you can reach back and say, dude, I want to help you out. I want to grow you. So somebody's waiting on your growth. This is really that stewardship part again. Yes, we want you to challenge your circle. We want you to take inventory. We want you to be in a better circle so that you win and you go find what you call success, and that you steward it well when you find it. But more importantly, it's about others. And so somebody's waiting on your growth so that they can be developed by you. And I think that's a really good thought to have in regards to this. So we have a challenge for the listeners here, basically on this particular topic. And it's basically just some thoughts and takeaways to do after this episode when you can go on and try some of these things. So we're going to ask you guys to just take inventory. Look at your circle, see where your drainers are, look at the balloons and anchors like we talked about earlier. And again, it's not about cutting them out. It's just identifying their impact on your life, right? We want you to identify who they are and then make one adjustment this week. It doesn't mean you go out and you tell your friends you're not hanging out with them. It's maybe setting a boundary with one or two of those friends that are doing certain things. You're like, I want to be a little better than this. Set a boundary. So we just challenge you to go out, make one adjustment this week. And just to remember that your future depends on your circle, because it really does. You've said it a lot. You're the average of 5 people you surround yourself with. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. We've heard that one.
Yep.
It's so true.
It is so true. Changing your environment is hard sometimes. For most people, it's not comfortable. It's not easy. It's something that is necessary because you want to identify those people who are going to build you up and challenge you and encourage you to go further. It's not going to happen overnight, and that's not what we're saying. What we want to encourage is just to begin to take steps in a positive direction. We want our listeners, people around us, even people that we get together with and go have coffee with and stuff. Our primary encouragement is just to start taking steps in a positive direction. Mm-hmm. You can't do number 500 before you've done number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah. It's just a series of steps. Positive choices in a good direction over time creates success. And that's what I think we're encouraging people to do by creating an audit of your friend group, a friend inventory, if you will, to go look at who you want to turn the volume down a little bit and then who you want to turn the volume up, to level up, to take yourself to the next level.
Circling back, I just go to the Word. I go to Scripture when I'm challenging the thought of an idea or a concept. And I just go back to that Proverbs verse. And when I see that Scripture's saying it, that we are to sharpen one another, it really solidifies the importance of this topic today. That's all I would want to reiterate.
Yep, and that scripture is, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. I think that's where we'll leave you guys today. I hope this encourages you and not discourages you. I know this is a hard topic for a lot of people because your friend group is who you know. It's what you're comfortable with. And a lot of those people are ones that you love, even if they're not necessarily challenging you and giving you the best opportunity to grow and learn and improve yourself. We would just encourage people to not stay stagnant. Level up. See where you're at. See the potential. Go find other people who can elevate you to the next level and encourage you to be better. I think you'll be happy that you did. Also, if you guys have not already, go check us out on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of the podcast platforms. Go look us up on your favorite platform, and we would love to be a part of your weekly life. If you want to tune in, listen to our podcast, watch our shorts, we're putting stuff out every day, and we hope that we can be a positive influence and an encouragement to you in some small way. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us today on Courageous Stewards, where legacy meets leadership and faith fuels the journey.
If this episode stirred something in you, share it with someone who's ready to step boldly into their calling. Subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected as we continue to explore what it means to lead with conviction, serve with excellence, and build with eternity in mind.
So until next time, keep showing up, keep stewarding well, and remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's obedience in motion.